What's good? I got more to say about Blackwing, so here I am. Usually retention drops off hard once I start the deck profile, so I'm just going to lead with the combos this time and see how it goes. So here is our new Sudri 1-card combo. If you've watched the old video talking about Blackwings until we aren't, you would know that we had to go through Zonda to do this combo. However, I have cut Zonda from the list, as you may have noticed in the at the start of the video. So here we'll have to go through a different combo, though it will cost us a lot of life points. So probably don't do this exactly if you're reaching the end of the round. We'll normal summon Sudri and activate its effect to grab Vata. We'll special summon Vata and use its effect, sending Chinook and Zephyros. We'll tribute off the Blackwing Dragon for a Phantom Glimmer token, and bounce Sudri or Zephyros. We'll synchro for no fun, burning our opponent for 800. Extra normal, the Sudri and add Twin Shadow. We'll activate Twin Shadow, putting back 6 stars worth of material for Boreas Storm, and sending Shamal. Now here you can either go for a Synchro 8 using the Boreas Storm and Sudri, or a Synchro 10 using Boreas Storm and Nothon. Here I'm choosing to go into Full Armor Master and add back Chinook, because I think that's more valuable than a Draco Berserker, but it will cost me more life points, so, you know. Then we'll special summon the Tax Dragon. Next up is our standard 1.5 card combo using Simoon and any card that we can banish off Simoon. We'll banish a card for Simoon to activate Black Whirlwind and extra normal for free. We'll add Sudri, Chainlink 1 Sudri, Chainlink 2 Black Whirlwind. We're going to be adding Vata and Shamal. We're going to activate Shamal to place Feather Whirlwind from our deck and special summon Vata. Vata is going to be sending Chinook and Zephyros to summon Blackwing Dragon. That's going to trigger Feather Whirlwind to summon back Vata, which we will then use alongside Sudri to synchro summon into Boreas Storm. This is missing out on a Feather Whirlwind activation, however, that's fine because doing this helps us play around Nibiru. So we'll go ahead and send Ouster to the graveyard. This could be any level 4. I just like using Ouster because then if our opponent Nibiru's us and we're able to establish a Full Armor Master, we can banish the Ouster and steal their Nibiru. We'll bounce back Feather Whirlwind with Zephyros. We would take damage, but Blackwing Dragon prevents it. Then we'll activate Feather Whirlwind, make Full Armor Master, and Reborn Vata, summoning Nothon and using Shamal to add back Sudri. That burns our opponent for 800. We get an extra normal summon, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Same as before, we'll grab Hiroshi the Squall and Blackwing Twin Shadow. We'll special the Hiroshi, tribute off Sudri for its own effect to make a token, summon Abyss, summon Draco Berserker, summon Assault Dragon, set our Twin Shadow, and during our opponent's turn, we'll summon Full Armor Master with the Twin Shadow and bring back Chinook, which can activate on field. For the next combo, we'll be starting exactly the same as the last, however this time we'll be making a much different and much more targeted end board. We'll go through what we normally do, activating Simoon and adding Sudri, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, adding the exact same things as before in Vata and Shamal. We'll activate the Shamal, summon the Vata, same sends as last game, it's all the same from here. But now we're going to change it up. We'll activate Zephyros, bouncing Feather Whirlwind. Activate Sudri, tributing off Simoon for a token. We'll reactivate the Feather Whirlwind and make Nothon, adding back Sudri. Burning our opponent for 800. We get an extra normal summon. Same chains as before, and same adds as before. We'll special summon the Hiroshi and synchro into Boreas Storm. Boreas Storm is going to be sending Ouster. We'll make Assault Dragon. We'll summon back the Boreas Storm with our Feather Whirlwind. Make a second Assault Dragon. Make Hot Red Arching Abyss. And the third Assault Dragon. We'll set our Twin Shadow, and on our opponent's turn, we can summon Full Armor Master and bring back Chinook. This is 2100 per monster effect, a Towers, a Negate, well, an Omni Negate, and a Monster Negate. Pretty fucking good. Next up, we'll be managing a somewhat bricked hand. Here we don't have access to any starters, just Shamal and Vata. We'll activate Shamal to place Feather Whirlwind, normal summon the Vata, activate its effect, sending Zephyros and Chinook for Blackwing Dragon. This is going to summon back the Vata. We'll bounce Feather Whirlwind for Zephyros. Reactivate it. Synchro for 6 into Boreaston. Trigger Feather Whirlwind to summon back our Chinook and send a Sudri from deck to grave. We'll Synchro Summon into Notha and add Sudri back to our hand with Shamal. We get an extra normal summon, so we'll add a copy of Twin Shadow. Then we'll activate Sudri, tributing itself for a Phantom Glimmer token to make Draco Berserker, then banish or Assault Dragon. During our opponent's turn, we can Twin Shadow, summon Full Armor Master, and bring back Chinook. Here we'll be doing something that functionally serves the same purpose. It looks like it represents the same cards, but it'll allow us to go just a little bit further, and that's Shamal and Black Whirlwind. We'll activate Black Whirlwind and then normal summon Shamal, adding ourselves Vata. We'll special summon the Vata where we still have another name, and then activate Shamal's effect to set Feather Whirlwind from deck. Then activate Vata with the same send as always. We'll trigger Feather Whirlwind to summon back the Vata. Bounce back the Feather Whirlwind for Zephyros. Reactivate the Feather Whirlwind. Make Warrior Storm. It's all looking the exact same from here, and that's because it really is, but this time we'll be able to do just a little bit more. We'll extra roll the Sudri and Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. We'll add a Roshi as well as a Twin Shadow this time. Summon the Phantom Glimmer token. Special the Orochi before we lose our Blackwing names. And now, we end on the same board as last turn. Or last combo rather. But now we have a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. For our next awkward hand, we have 2 copies of Vata and 1 Black Whirlwind. So we'll start things off by activating Black Whirlwind and normal summoning Vata, and add a copy of Chinook. We'll activate Vata, sending Zephyros and any level 2. Here I send Harmattan because we already have a copy of Chinook. We'll summon Zephyros by bouncing Black Whirlwind and then special summon Vata. Reactivate the Whirlwind just because. We'll special summon Warrior Storm and activate its effect to send Roshi to make itself level 9, and then Synchro Summon Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, as well as Blackwing Assault Dragon. So this is an Omni, Monster Negate, and a Tax Dragon. Not the best, but not the worst in the world given the open. Now from here, I'll be showing how to play through Interruption. Here we have a standard Simoon setup, as well as a Nibiru to stop us. And this is the only Nibiru line that requires an extender, so I'm showing off this as well. This is how to play through a very early Nibiru. So all you need is Chinook. Once we get Sharnga, that could also be a Sharnga, but you don't also have to draw this. If you've drawn any of your search targets here, like say you've already drawn your Sudri, you've already drawn like your Vata or your Shamal, you can just add the Chinook and now you're insulated. But we'll just go through it like normal. We're doing everything the way we should. But on our 5th summon, our opponent activates Nibiru. Now from here, we can still play through it because we have this Chinook. We'll activate Chinook to negate the effects of Nibiru and send Boreasor. We'll use Zephyros to reset Feather Whirlwind. Now we have the materials for Assault Dragon, so we'll go ahead and bring back Sudri with Feather Whirlwind and summon a Phantom Glimmer token, which allows us to summon a Boreas Storm properly this time. We'll add back Sudri, send a level 2 and make Nothung. Nothung's going to reduce Nibiru, and we'll normal summon the Sudri, adding Orochi and Twin Shadow. We'll special the Orochi, summon Obsidian Hawk Tamer Joe, force the Nibiru to attack, bring back Boreas Storm, special summon Full Armor Master, set Twin Shadow, and during our opponent's turn, we'll go ahead and make another and bring back Chinook. Next up, we'll be playing through Nibiru if it was held just a little bit longer. We'll activate Simoon and go through our normal line. Here we don't need any extenders because we just have the gas already. We're going to be playing in a specific way so that we'll have the materials that we need to play through the Nibiru as long as they nib us just after the 5th summon. So here is where our 5th summon is. However, we have a Zephyros in the graveyard that hasn't activated its effect. So we can reasonably assume our opponent won't Nibiru us here because we're representing Extension and the ability to play through it, as well as we have a soft once per turn reborn effect available, so any way to asynchro automatically just hoses them. So we'll take advantage of that by summoning Boreal Storm the Wicked Wind, which is going to Foolish Ouster. We'll activate Zephyros, and upon seeing that we've summoned Zephyros, our opponent will Nibiru. We're not really representing any obvious interaction. If our opponent knows that we now have the materials for Blackwing Assault Dragon, they probably won't nib us here. They'll probably do it a little bit earlier, or recognize that they've missed their chance and just hold it for the end of main. But I digress. We'll activate Feather Whirlwind and summon our Assault Dragon. This allows us to summon back Sudri. Sudri is going to trade out that nib token for something a little more useful. And then we'll make no fun. We'll go ahead and add back Sudri and reduce Nibiru by 800. Extra normal summon. And do our normal chains. Here we'll be grabbing a copy of Chinook and Twin Shadow. We'll activate Twin Shadow to summon another Boreal Storm, make Full Armor Master, and pass turn. On a Towers, Tax Dragon, and now I'll be showing what happens if your opponent holds it just a little bit longer. Once again, we're going to start like normal. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain what's happening here by now. But we're going to just do the standard stuff, and we'll just do this until we reach the point where our opponent could Nibiru us. Now here our opponent knows that Black Feather Whirlwind is a soft once per turn, so they're going to wait for that until we activate that. So we'll summon Full Armor Master and activate Feather Whirlwind and add back our Sudri. And upon seeing that, our opponent will Nibiru. We'll summon our Tax Dragon. And that's it. That's the best hit for them. It's still a Tax Dragon and Full Armor Master, as well as some follow-up, but it's not bad. Alright, so here we'll be playing through Ash Blossom, which doesn't really hurt us that much, but can be a bit of a pain. So we'll start off by activating Simoon like always, setting Black Whirlwind, normal summoning it. We can reasonably assume our opponent will Ash us here because we haven't used our normal summon yet, and we still have Black Whirlwind, which isn't once per turn. So we'll go ahead and add Sudri. And we can assume our opponent will Ash the Sudri or the Black Whirlwind because we're still getting a search. It would be bad value. So we can assume that we'll get both of our searches here. We'll activate Shamal and set Feather Whirlwind, then Special Vata. And this is a profitable Ash, so we can assume that our opponent is probably going to use it here. So we're not going to be able to summon the Blackwing Dragon this game. Instead, we'll summon No Thumb, then activate Shamal, and then activate Black Feather Whirlwind to summon the now banished Shamal. And then we get to extra normal summon the Sudri. Sudri is going to activate and add us Chinook, as well as Twin Shadow, and summon a token. Then we'll make Draco Berserker, Full Armor Master, set 1 and pass. When our opponent has a target for Chinook that's at all profitable, we'll go ahead and fire it off and send a copy of Boreal Storm, which will allow us to summon Full Armor Master, add back the Chinook, and special summon Nothung for just a little bit of extra burn damage. Next up, we'll be playing through a slightly different opener to beat Ash. Here we'll have Sudri the Phantom Glitter and Black Whirlwind, and you might think that this is functionally the same as Simoon and using Simoon to get both of these into rotation, but the lack of the level 6 body means that we have to take a couple more roundabout steps to get to where we need to be after they Ash our Vata. So we'll activate Black Whirlwind and summon Sudri. Again, we can assume they won't Ash us here because it's bad value. We'll add Vata and Shamal, then pitch Shamal, set Feather Whirlwind, special Vata, it gets Ash, woe is me. We'll summon Boreal Storm, chainlink 1 Boreal Storm and chain block it by summoning back Vata, send our Zephyros, and reset Feather Whirlwind Zephyros. We'll make Nothon, add back our Sudri and special back Shamal. We normal summon the Sudri. Now, here off this Black Whirlwind search, you can either grab Orochi or Chinook. Here I'll be grabbing Orochi because it'll give me slightly more interruption than usual because we've had to go through Boreas Storm of the Wicked Wind. But you can choose to go through the Chinook line if you want to use slightly less resources for next turn. And we'll be adding Twin Shadow. We'll make Blackwing Dragon, special the Orochi, special Abyss, special Full Master, and Assault Dragon. Then on our opponent's turn, Twin Shadow will summon back Full Master. Shamal will be adding back Sudri, and Feather Whirlwind will summon Nothong, which will burn our opponent for a little bit of damage, and reduce one of their monsters by 800. So this gives us follow-up as well as 2 towers, a negate, and a tax dragon. Now, Imperm is a card that does give us a little more pause. It doesn't turn on Triple Tactics talent, which is a bit of a pain, but more importantly than that, it doesn't really care about the fact that we chain block our Sudri. Normally, we can assume that our opponent won't Imperm Sudri because that's terrible value. You're still getting a search. But you can never really account for your opponent being too hasty with their interruptions when facing a road deck. So here I'll be showing off how to beat a very early Imperm, or rather how to play through an early Imperm. If they save the Imperm for Vata, play through it like you would Ash Blossom. Otherwise, just go ahead and do this. We'll be activating Simoon, banishing Simoon to place Black Whirlwind and normal summon it. And we'll be adding our Sudri. We'll normal our Sudri, Chaining 1, Chaining 2, and our opponent sees a chance to activate their purple card. So we'll add Vata. We'll special summon Boreas Storm, send Shamal, make Full Master, and add back a Sudri for next turn. And this looks terrible. I mean, it really is. It's just Full Armor Master passed. But this is under the assumption that you have no extenders. Chances are good the rest of your hand is non-engine cards. Stuff like Forbidden Lance, I don't know, Twin Shadow maybe. Just random cards that you can't really use. But if you have extenders, you can go a lot further than this. Now, here we'll be showing what you can actually do with an extender. Here I've decided to use Shamal the Sandstorm as our extender of choice. This could really be anything. It could be Vata, it could be a ham sandwich, for all I care. As long as you're able to activate it and get another body on field, get what you need to get more resources into rotation, this is pretty much perfect. So we'll activate Simoon, and we'll do what we normally do. And same as our last replay, our opponent's going to Imperm the Sudri. However, because we've drawn our Shamal, or Vata, we can add whichever piece we don't have yet, and just pop off like it's our normal 1-card combo, and our opponents just hand loop themselves for 1 functionally. Now here I do play a little bit greedy by not making Boreas Storm first, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. You can just play it like it's a normal combo from this position. It really is just that easy. If you have just any search target. I don't think I need to narrate this really, because I've done this so many times. But we're going to be ending on Draco Berserker, Full Armor Master, Hot Red Abyss, Twin Shadow for another Full Armor Master, and Chinook, and the Tax Dragon, which is all in all a pretty crazy end board. And because we went through Shamal, put it back into the graveyard, we get to add back our Sudri for our next turn. Now, it's not really relevant in the meta right now, but there is a chance that it'll come back into the picture as Sprite picks up in popularity, or as decks that are weak to Gamma show themselves. So here I'm going to be showing you how to play under Gamma to give your opponent as few opportunities to activate a profitable Gamma as you can. We'll start off by activating Simoon, and this is one of the positions where your opponent can Gamma. However, there's a chance they don't, and a pretty solid chance, because really then any other starter just completely ruins their day. Like a copy of Sudri or something similar, right? So we can activate the Simoon, and there's a good chance that our opponent won't Gamma this, but there's also a good chance that they will. If they do Gamma this, that sucks. If you have another starter, go off like normal, use the Sudri 1-card combo. Otherwise, is what it is. But we'll normal summon the Simoon and add Sudri with Black Whirlwind. And here we'll be chain blocking the Sudri to make sure that they can't gamma it. We'll add Vata and Shamal. We'll activate the Shamal, and here's another position where they could gamma, but then we'll be able to play through this like normal, as though they burned an Ash on a Black Whirlwind, or for some reason we didn't have access to Shamal. So we would still have Vata, we would still have Sudri, we would still have Simoon. Functionally, we would just be doing the Simoon 1 card, but I digress. We'll special summon Vata, and we can't activate the Vata because that would give our opponent a good gamma, so instead we'll make Storm. We'll chain block the Storm using Feather Whirlwind, and we'll be sending Zephyros. Now if our opponent wants to gamma this Zephyros, they can be my guest. It'll still accomplish nothing because we've added back our Feather Whirlwind regardless. It does what we needed to for cost. We'll reactivate Feather Whirlwind and summon Nifung. We're going to chain block the Shamal add back using Feather Whirlwind. And once again, we're going to chain block our Sudri. Here we'll be grabbing Chinook. We'll make Followup Master, Draco Berserker the Tenyi, set 1, and pass. Unfortunately, we do have to leave a Simoon on the field, but really that's not too bad. And then during our opponent's turn, we can go Twin Shadow, which will trigger Shamal to add back Sudri for follow-up, and we'll summon back Shamal as a chump blocker. Pretty solid. And here for our last combo of this video, I'll be showing you how to play through Dimension Shifter. A lot of people will see you moving cards in and out of the graveyard very quickly and think that you get hurt a lot by Shifter. You do get hurt by Shifter, but it's not as bad as one might expect. Shifter isn't as much of a factor to consider anymore as it was during Tilamet format. However, it is still something to be considerate of because there are a lot of decks that can run Shifter, and one of the best decks in the game right now is literally ending on Macro Cosmos on a stick. So let's just go ahead and play through a Shifter effect. They're going to fire our Shifter when we activate our Simoon. This could be really whenever. This is just when I decided to do it. We'll normal summon Sudri, activate Black Whirlwind. Here we'll be grabbing Ouster with Black Whirlwind and Blackwing Twin Shadow with Sudri. We'll activate Sudri, tributing off Simoon to make Nifung, burn our opponent for 800, but more importantly, give ourselves an extra normal summon. So we'll summon Ouster, special summon back Sudri, summon Orochi, make Hot Red Abyss, and pass. This isn't much, but it is pretty good. Also, fun little quirk, because we don't specifically send our Black Whirlwind to the graveyard because it gets banished instead, we don't take the 1000 damage from Simoon, meaning that if they shifter us and we go to time, we are winning in time. So during our opponent's turn, we'll Twin Shadow into a Followup Master. So that's a Towers and a Negate. Right, so here's the list. Some stuff has changed, obviously, from the list shown in my last video on the deck. So we'll just get through it all. I've pivoted to a pure Synchro build by dropping Walla. Walla is strong, but not well positioned right now, so I've built a more targeted end board by making 2 copies of Full Armor Master, which a lot of decks in the format have a rough time dealing with. I cut Zonda entirely, but it is a very strong extender and solid summon off Feather Whirlwind. It is a brick that isn't really necessary. I put a lot of value on varied forms of interruption and not just spamming negates, but in general, Chinook gets the job done and sets you up nicely for your next turn, without being that brick that Zonda can be. Other changes are pretty minimal. Second Chinook for grind games, weird hands where I have to banish it for Simoon, Forbidden Lance to beat books, and so on. Honestly, the deck feels better than ever, and it'll only get better in the future with the introduction of a second good tuner monster for the archetype in Sharnga, but sadly that card's still stuck in OCG import hell. Monstrous Revenge, please, Kami, I'm begging you, free my son. Anyway, now that I have your attention, have you heard the good word of our Lord and Savior, the G-Gold?